Welcome, Jonathan. How you doing?
Excellent, John. How are you?
I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. So, Jason, I want you to meet Jonathan Freese. And Jonathan, I say, is the most talented person I know. He's an actor, he's a director, he's a writer, a musician, a singer, a songwriter. He's very strategic, and he is one of the most compassionate people I've ever met. He's a natural born leader, being compassion server. And I think what he's most well known for is he is the best sidekick anybody could ever have. If there is anything you're trying to do in life and Jonathan is right beside you, you are going to be absolutely successful. And I will say this one line that Jonathan always likes to say: the best three-person hang you can ever have is Jonathan, me, and anyone else. So I'm looking forward to this hang.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, Jonathan, I've seen in the book Instant Impact. I'm sorry, Intangible You,
Yep.
and in the Instant Impact as well. Like, so I've seen Jonathan many many times. He's definitely an incredible personality. You just want to keep listening to him. And so yeah, Jonathan, this is a Wheel of Bliss podcast. So, what does living your bliss look like to you or feel like to you?
What does living my bliss feel like to me? What's bliss? What do you mean?
You have to decide that. What does bliss mean to you?
Well, in this sense, like I guess you could say like the highest value or like the greatest experience possible.
I would say it feels like living in the best song you've ever heard.
Ooh.
I would say that it would be living your bliss, living my bliss would be, yeah, it would be this amazingly epic song that has a ton of dynamics, and it just there's tension in it, there's release in it, there's you laugh so hard you cry so hard you want to cry more. You just that to me would be my bliss, and it would be very much like living with a bunch of people in that song, a dog pile. It's having impact, it's having community, and it's everybody leading each other. So there's not just one person who bears the responsibility of everything. We don't all just sit around listening to one person. We all contribute, we all write, we all work together. I mean, my bliss is traveling around in a band, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
It's awesome. You mentioned like there's like three pillars of the Wheel of Bliss. You mentioned making an impact. So that's one of the pillars. Like, what is like your unique way to make an impact? And you kept mentioning the band, the friends, the others. That's like another pillar. And then the third pillar, which you kind of touched on, is what makes you what are your needs and wants? Like what fills up your cup in this in this song that you're living, right? You're making an impact, you're with the right people, and like what are you enjoying?
What am I like? What are people providing me that I don't want to do?
Well, yeah, or it could be just like like swimming. I don't know, just anything that brings you joy, like to do yourself.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I guess you like playing music is a big part of what you do.
Oh yeah, I mean I think anything to do with music, like anything. I love talking about music. I love listening to music. I love listening to music and talking about music as we're listening to music. Like, but yeah, man, I wanna lead with people. I don't wanna just be by myself doing hardly anything.
That's
I always
awesome.
want.
That's kind of what I was just thinking. I'm like, wow, your
I
bliss
always
is
want to have.
so.
I always want to have a crew. I've always thought that one of the loneliest things in the whole world would be to be a solo artist. That's not what I want to do.
it's funny. I've like really come to the same place in my life, because they sell everybody as like an entrepreneur, or like you could be an independent woman, you could be and I've gone down that road, and I'm like, I don't.
And you've been an independent woman, like
Exactly.
more than so many people,
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it really it really does. It is just so much more exciting and profitable and
Yeah.
able to flow when you're able to recognize your uniqueness and other people's uniqueness, and yeah, just create a great recipe. So what's your strategy to being able to live your blissful life?
Cool. What's my
Or
strategy
what
to
advice
living?
would you give others, like if people wanted to like live their perfect song?
So you have to understand yourself first. I
Mhm.
can't be I have to really embrace who I am and be this um uh, that compassionate person who's looking to help other people. Like that brings out the best. That brings out the absolute best in me. And as soon as I start getting comparative or competitive with how other people talk or how other people live, that just will just absolutely destroy my bliss. So I have to. So what I'm learning is I have to operate and kind of go down a path that nobody else has gone down because only I can walk down this road. So I think that being myself is one of the biggest things. I need to be compassionate. I need to serve other people, but I think bringing in and being open to a lot of different perspectives has helped me get to bliss or be blissful or live a life of flow a lot quicker than a lot of other people, because I don't think I'm not looking to just figure this all out myself. If somebody's got a cheat code, I want it. I want the code. I want to learn from these people who've gone before me. And I think I've surrounded myself with very different people like yourselves. I don't like to read. I'm not very I'm not a smart person, like the philosophizing is just something that is very new to me. And the why behind the why behind the why behind the why and all of that. It's like I have people in my life, namely John, who has helped me become strategic but uniquely as well. Um so yeah, that's what I would say is you have to be yourself. You have to surround yourself with other people. I would not be me without my marriage, and that's one of the greatest assets that I have. Like, uh, it's one of the best things about me is my marriage, and my incredible wife Morgan, and what we have, and the energy that our relationship provides to me. And I think I would be half a person without her. And then um, the ultimate thing is for me is living a life of grace, is asking and seeking God's design for my life and being who he wants me to be and living that out. And that's what I think has led me to you, Jason, and has led me to John. Is I just the only road I cannot see an end to is the road that God has for me, and that's all I want at this point. It's like I could create all of these different paths, but I don't think it would be satisfying to me like God's path would be. So
Nice.
that answers.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got two questions. My first question is, how dare you?
Well, to honestly answer that, a lot, a lot.
And then who do you think you are? No. Anyways, When was the first or the biggest time that you felt different or disconnected from everyone else?
The first time that I felt different and disconnected was on the first day of 7th grade
Ooh.
when half Canadian, half American Jonathan moved to Wisconsin and ate alone at the lunch table. Felt completely alone and completely disconnected from everybody.
Wow. Okay. Second question. When was the first or biggest time that you caused others to feel uncomfortable because you disrupted the status quo?
When was the first time Oh, that's a fun question. When I disrupted the
You
status
caused
quo.
others to feel uncomfortable because you disrupted the status quo.
Oh man,
These are good, aren't they? I've
that's
been
a
dying for you. I've not told you any of these questions because I
you have
wanted to get
not.
your reaction live to these questions. They're
You have
baller.
not.
These
When
are
have I
baller questions.
disrupted the status quo? Well, tell you what, man. I don't know if it was. So here, the first thing that popped into my head was in church. I sang a song that was like from one of those like pseudo Christian bands. So
Okay.
they would have like the youth group come up, like sometimes the youth group band would come up and play a song, and that was, but anyway, regardless, I don't think I wore any shoes up on stage, and it was a mega church, Jason. So it was a like a big church at the time. So like over, I think there was like over 3,000 people at that church. And I got up there and I sang this song and I went absolutely berserk. I sang my guts out. Like I had a tambourine and I played the tambourine so hard and I was dancing and jumping and spinning around and just having the absolute time in my life, and people lost their minds.
I've never
They
heard this story.
they lost their minds. They were like, you can't do this. Like there were certain people, like it like divided the whole church. It was like there were some people that were like, he's like King David from the Bible, right? Some people were like, this is the greatest thing. Like, how dare you consider stopping this young man's expression to God? Like, this is the greatest thing. He is changing the culture in our church right now. There were people that were just like, they were nuts about it. Then there were other people who were like, this is a performance. He is not making this about God at all. It's all about himself. And it just was like, so we did a Saturday night service and then 2 on Sunday. And I think I heard rumblings going on Saturday night of like, some people are kind of upset with what you're doing. And I was like, really? What do you mean? Like, why? They're like, well, if they feel like it's too much of a performance. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll dial it back a little bit. I did not dial it back. I did not. In fact, I think I tried to like chill out, but then it just took over and I lost it. But anyway,
How old
yeah,
were you?
I might have been 15.
Wow.
I might have been 15 years old, but yeah, that really
Well, thank
shook.
you for. I've never heard that story. I've known you
I've
for
never told you that
years.
story.
Never. This is what I love about this format is everybody that I've known for years, we go through this, they're like a different person.
Yeah, disrupting the status quo. I mean, that is such an interesting question. So there may have been something earlier, but that to me is just like, that seems
Bingo.
like, yeah, this, like, people are gonna start to pick it. Like, there are people that were just there, like the elders were fighting with each other. Like, the church leadership, Jason, was
And
like,
what happened? How did it resolve?
everybody was just like, well, they'll just let him sort it out. Like, just let him do his thing.
He's Canadian. He's got to do that.
Come on, he's not really, he has so little going on in his life right now. Let the kid dance.
That's so interesting. So, like, this is something I'm personally interested in, is because ever since I was a kid, I hated to go on the stage. Like, even to do a podcast like this is new, you know. But like, the thought to like enjoy it so much that, but there's something there, we talk about like quantum physics and the observer effect. It's like there is something when all those consciousnesses are observing you. And I think we're made to, like, this is what I call the fire element. We're made to kind of thrive in that type of thing. But that's what I'm just like listening to you. Like, the thought of doing that would probably be like the most terrifying thing I could imagine. To not just go on stage, but to let go of the inhibitions and just do it. And that's what Jonathan embodies. So we're so opposite, which is so cool. And like you said, just one last thing is
Yeah.
I have the same advice I give to people, or I would say my secret is to seek myself and then surround myself with people who are different. And instead of being competitive with them or trying to make them wrong, I'm like, I want to actually learn how they do that. So now I can have my power plus their power, so
Right.
So inspiring.
And Jonathan and I have talked about this several times, is that, a movie is a movie and it's always a movie and it's always the same movie, but a play or a live concert, they're all different. Every play is different. I used to perform in plays. Jonathan and I have performed together, and we do a lot of improv in front of people, and you can feel the energy, and you have to adjust your performance for the audience. So the audience is a part of the performance. That's what makes live events, live performances so exhilarating, is the audience becomes a part of it. And if you're really sensitive to it and you know how to give the energy and take it and pause and draw them out, and you know how to work with someone like Jonathan to do that. We have so many stories, and we've spent years going into classrooms and just improving and making games and getting the classes, just these kids and these teens just so jacked up, because that's all we were doing, is we were just performing all the time.
Yep.
I definitely need that to improv with you guys. That would be such a trip.
That's what that was me and my comments about you being an independent woman. I'm trying to pull that out of you, where it's like, no, laugh, like,
and then make a joke on top of it.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, this is, again, like, I have my skills. We were just talking, I could read 1,000-page book, and you were saying that you don't like to read, and I'm like, the bigger the book, the better. But that's what's so cool is, like you mentioned, like, telling stories and humor are like the two things, and that's really like, man, I wish I can be better at that, but I know I can learn it. It's just that I have to be honest where I'm at. And you know what I mean? That's how I kind of teach people too. It's like, if you know where you're at on anything, whether it's playing guitar, some things you're further ahead on, but it doesn't matter where you are. If you could be honest and find a great person who's clearly further ahead than you, you can get there.
I think the thing is, though,
what unlocks it is making fun of yourself. I think when you can do that, Jason, you're gonna that'll unlock all the fun.
I love that.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think the difference, I think that the issue for Jason is this in front of people live in a crowd versus if you look at season 1, Wheel of Bliss, man, you told some amazing stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of people saying, oh, I'd love to hang out with that guy, and Jonathan and Brett were both like that. And they have enjoyed hanging out with you. So I think when you're one-on-one, Jason,
one-on-one.
I think
Yeah.
you're like that. You're like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I always say, like, what I've noticed, and tell me if you're different, Jonathan. You seem different, but like a lot of people I know who love to be on stage are so uncomfortable at a party. Whereas me, at a party, I can talk to everyone in the room. Like, actually, Jonathan was telling me, you can talk to everyone in the room, or everyone in the room is going to come to me, and I'll be memorable. So, like, but once there's like 4 people looking at me, I think you even mentioned something about servers or something. If there's a certain number of people, once it gets over like 4 people and it's like silence and people are like really hanging on to my words, that's when I start to get nervous.
Yeah. What Jonathan and I like doing is we like going into a group and getting the whole group into flow. We are both really good. We work together really well, and whether it's a classroom or whether it's a party, we go to a bunch of parties and hangouts. Our goal is always, how are we going to get this room in flow? And it's always both of us doing that and then slowly pulling people in. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and ask your next question.
So okay, Jonathan, what does your perfect day look like? Like current Jonathan, like
My perfect day, I would be getting up, having coffee with Morgan. We would chat. It would be a slow morning. Probably we would do it.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
It's your perfect day, not hers. Remember that.
Okay, then definitely we're definitely doing it then.
Okay, there you go.
Because in my perfect day, she definitely wants to do it. Okay?
There it is. There it is.
And that might even be more. You know what? That might even be more important than doing it to begin with. So I'm just thinking now. I'm just sitting here thinking about Jason and being funny. Part of what makes you funny in a group is John and I want to break each other up. We want to crack each other. It's like when John gets me or I get him, we're like, that's being in a band, Jason. Being in a band is like, no. Like, I want to bust up John in front of all these people.
And the Beatles did that.
Oh, that was just like that was the best. But when you're watching on the outside, that's a whole nother performance that you're enjoying. So anyway.
Yeah.
So it would be that. It would be, and then I would want to go out to breakfast. Either have people come over or I'd want to go out to breakfast with a group. Like I'd want to hang out and have breakfast. I would love to I don't know the order, but I'd love to like have probably a songwriting session every day, or go into the music studio every day and work on something. Like, again, not by myself, but with like, I need a technical expert in my life. I need somebody who understands chord progressions, and I provide a raw idea and they bring the technical aspect to it. So I would do that. I would want to go into the studio and do that. I would love to, sit down and have some sort of strategy meeting, like to work with the church, or to like, I love to help somebody else. Like, to me, that is the most fun. Like, yeah, I can help you with you, but to help you help somebody else, or you help that organization. It's like, that's what I love about being here in Scotland with Dean, because Dean's always, yeah, let's help Dean, but it's helping Dean with his kids, with his wife, with the church. and me helping him is just kind of like a blip where it's like, you good? Boop. Like, make sure you're good. Now let's do the project with other people. So I'd want to have that. I'd want to have that. I'd want to have like some sort of strategy, and then, I mean, some type of show, some type of performance at night would be awesome as well. Like in my perfect day, in my perfect life, I've got a band. Like I have a band, and we're smoking. So we hang out, and we have a show that night. And I'm still able to do all of these things with other people while I'm in this band that is, so I can do both. I can be a helping guy and a pastor guy and that, but I can also be this music. And so that I think that would be it.
No, I love that you had that answer so well thought out. That is, and you said it out loud. You just told your unconscious all of that. And we talked about that on Friday, a lot of those things, and wanting this person to help you. So yeah, they're coming. That person is going to be coming. And as you can see, that perfect day is very doable. Like, it actually is. So like, yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, last question for me is, what if, well, I can't, besides this producer musician who could do chord progressions, is there anything else that you wish for? Like, you could have one wish, wave the magic wand, and you could have one thing into your life now.
Oh, if I could have one thing into my life.
Yeah, it could be a material thing, but it could be just a change in your anything in your life, really.
It could be material. Like, if I could have one thing, I think the ability that I want the most at this point in my life is to be able to hear from God, like, crystal clear. Because at this point, it's hard for me to go, like, because I thought, my musical John Lenhart. It's like I have a John Lenhart in my life who's like, he provides me counsel. He's a freaking Yoda. We can work on pretty much everything together, Jason. It's like, it's freakish, the different projects that John and I work on together. It's like, music, we talk about music, but like the technical aspect that he brings to me as my sidekick, it's like, to have that musically would be insane. Like, I've never had that. Never had somebody like take the raw idea that I've had and turn it into something that's amazing. But, I have had John do that in so many other areas, and he's helped me with music as well. But it would just be a different story to have something like that. I don't know if it's a John Lennon or if I'm Paul McCartney or what, or if I'm John Lennon, he's Paul McCartney, whatever it is, that's what I'm. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think that's the thing, or the person that I feel like I'm missing.
Mm-hmm. No, perfect answer.
But if there's an ability that I feel like I'm missing,
okay,
it's that, to go
right,
zoning into God's voice, hearing him, and just flying.
Mm-hmm. It's a great answer too, because if you could do that, then you can, and everything else will be easy.
Yeah,
because he'll know. Wonderful.
Perfect. Okay, so that Saturday night, you find out that you just disrupted the status quo. You caused all this pain, and you traumatized all these people in church.
Oh yeah.
And now Sunday you are going to traumatize them again. Was there any thought to just not do it at all?
Yeah.
Did it bug you that you were going to traumatize people?
Yeah. Yeah. Initially, there was a blip.
So what compelled you to go ahead and still traumatize them.
I'm a slave to the groove, man. No, no. What, like I said, like I was almost like I it was almost like my free will was taken from me is what it almost felt like. It almost felt like I have to do this. Like I may have even tried to play it cool, but then I just lost my mind again. And I think it was like, what was it? It was almost like, no, man, there was people there. It was almost like people out there need me to do this. Because I
Okay.
remember looking out there and seeing people's faces, and people would tell me, I am going to come tomorrow to hear you sing, to have you do that again. Like, I will be here. And I remember people
I
going like,
dare you to do it. I'll be here, or I'm looking forward to it.
no, there was just not like, I can't wait to see that tomorrow. Like, I'd never do this, Jonathan. I'm going to come and see this tomorrow. And it was on, and then there was people that I remember looking out. I don't remember seeing anybody's face that was like disproving what it was that I was doing. I remember looking out at the audience and just seeing faces that were just like of just like willing more out of me.
So then, what was your mission at that time in life?
What was my mission? My
Yeah,
mission,
what would you say your mission was at that point in your life? Not necessarily that event, but at that time in your life,
it
what was
was
your
like
mission in
it was
life?
like to express freedom to people. And I was gonna knock them loose. It's almost like I'm gonna express freedom so that they experience freedom. Or like I am going to live just pure joy so that everybody experiences pure joy. And
And
it
so
was,
what's your what?
yeah, so it was just that's what that was, yeah.
So what's your mission now?
It's revolution through melody.
Why did it change?
Why did it change?
Yep.
From
Yeah. Why did it change from when you were 15?
um part of it I don't feel like it did, but I think that maybe I felt like I needed to be more responsible. I think that I looked to other people to affirm something in me versus me just kind of expressing that in myself. Yeah, I don't know.
Would you say
Nice.
that like when you were 15, you were more motivated for just expression and maybe just having fun, even though it sounded like you had a good motivation even back then. But now, when you perform, what's your motivation in your music now? Is there something deeper now? Would you say?
I think it's I do feel this a responsibility to lead people, and I don't think it's about like being about myself. Like I feel responsible to be about other people and facilitate them in their, expression to God. I think in a lot of ways, 15 was when I joined the band. And so I think that I went a lot more outward to find, self-esteem and validation in that group of friends than I feel like I did in myself.
Right. So in the band years, you were expressing freedom to people so they'd experience freedom.
I would say that was before the band years. Yeah.
And would you say it was during the band years?
Expressing freedom so that other people. Yeah. I would say that.
So then I'm this isn't fair because I know your story. So this is great for me to learn this in the process, but you had a big gloom moment in your life.
I had a big gloom moment.
Yeah. Very famous moment that you talk about with the band.
Oh, my X Games Aspen, Colorado
Yeah.
moment. So that was when we had.
Do you know the story, Jason?
Yeah, I listened to it on the Unlocked podcast. Shout out to Joel.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I would like to hear the X Games story in light of your former mission.
Yeah, so I could absolutely see the total opposite in crowd experience. So what I saw when I looked out in that crowd was we started with a massive crowd. So we played in Aspen, Colorado at the X Games, right? We skied in the Rockies for free. Things in the band weren't great. Like I was pretty jaded. I was thinking, nah, I guess I'll just do these big shows with these guys. I wasn't having fun. I was not feeling fulfilled and loved and celebrated. And, it kind of felt more business transaction. And I remember skiing, in the Rockies by myself and feeling like that, that seventh grader alone at the lunch table. So I had that same moment with, in Aspen, Colorado that I did when I felt alone. So completely alone. And then I don't know if it was the next day or what, but then we played a show. And this was when I absolutely knew that I was done. Was we started with a massive crowd of people, and I watched as the show went on that more and more people left. So I didn't see, like, what's interesting is I didn't see faces of people that were willing us to go for it. I just felt nobody knew, like, anonymous, nobody knows me. Nobody cares about us being here. I think if this was more, and even the music, even the peak of what it is to be in a band was not satisfying anymore. Like being on stage and creating this music was not enough anymore. And then I saw as these people left. And then that's when I was like, I'm done. It is not worth, like, that's supposed to be the best moment, and it was just sad.
Why?
Watching these people leave, because it's like, at least we have the music, Jason. At least the shows are fun. At least we're having these big experiences. At least we're in Aspen, Colorado, skiing in the Rockies for free, and X Games and catering and big shows, and at least we've got that. Oh, what? We don't even have that. Oh, that's not fun skiing. That's sad skiing. Have you ever seen somebody who's sad skiing? What kind of disaster is that? There's me on the Rockies sad skiing. Oh, heartbreak. Have you ever seen somebody sad playing the drums? I played the drums sad. It's miserable to watch. Just somebody expressionless playing these rock and roll songs,
Do you think the energy like was so sad that like the audience just felt it and they like you were talking
Oh, wow.
and
Good question.
They definitely could have, man.
Mm.
They definitely could have. But I remember going for it in the beginning, like, come on, like we could do this. And then as the songs went, it was just like, bah, 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 like just, oh, this is bad. This is bad.
Awesome. Do you have any more questions, Jason?
well and then and then after that your mission changed, would you say? Or, or-
That's what John. Is that what John's saying? Like, I don't.
That might be what I'm
well,
saying.
no, I know
What
that
are you
from
saying?
your story. Even from what I know of your story is that like then you started working in Starbucks and then
Oh, like what I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
you were done.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, my mission became to start over, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My mission was to, like I was going to rebuild, I was going to discover where I went off course.
What's your mission now?
Revolution through melody.
Please
Right.
elaborate on that.
Yeah, revolution is making an impact. It's changing people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's, facilitating meaning, facilitating purpose, like facilitating other people, like having these amazing experiences and living a life that is worth living, meaningful. So that's what a revolution to me is. That like is to change the world.
Sounds like you want
And
people
then
to like live their bliss, because meaning is like one of the elements. Bliss, expression, connection, and then abundance, right? It sounds like that's a lot of what you embody. And
thank you. I want to live my own bliss.
yeah, no, well, you that's what I mean. Like you clearly have the fire element. That you're already experiencing that bliss. So
Well, yeah.
that's
Well,
clear.
that's one of the things. That's one of the things. That's the first gift that you gave me, Jason, was
Mm.
recognizing that fire in me.
Right. So you can have all four elements. Like when you say you don't like to read and that kind of stuff, you can learn to love to read, and you can, you know what I mean? Like it might take a while, but if that's your intention, then you can master the air and the fire, and like that's really the goal is like, God wants you to have all four, not just one. And you already see how great one is. But what I notice is people often think it's like one or the other, when really we're supposed to have it all. And that's true on many levels,
Yeah.
and it's like just simply some people are brain people, some people are somatic body people, and they tend to think the other person's wrong all the time, right? Like the Old Testament and the New Testament, like you put them together, they're good. But if you only read one, it just, or not just read one, but like read one and then have to prove that the other one's wrong. So, I guess I said all that. You say so. Revolution. It's like
Yeah, and then melody is to me is like it's a series of single steps,
okay,
single notes that is musically satisfying.
right.
So
They
it's like,
feel good together in this particular.
yeah, man. I mean, it's just like a great melody can just absolutely, that can just set you free. Brings tears to your eyes. It just it's memorable. You carry it with you wherever you go. And I love to simplify everything to its
Mm.
single notes that's musically satisfying. It's like, and break everything down. That's why I think I like hanging around with smart people who can tolerate me, because I just try to distill it down and down and down and down until it's da na 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 na, and it's like you can put away your 60-piece orchestra. Like, give me that. Like, I want that. I want to find that melody in it. So it's like I want to find that in life, and it will be musically satisfying, and it feels easy. There's an ease and a peace and a calmness and a freedom to that, to an incredible melody.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's metaphorical and literal. So you literally want to make melodies that are going to change people's lives. I know that's one of your biggest dreams, or you feel called to make music for people, actually make music and get it out there and be able to produce more. But also it's also metaphorical, right? So how does that play out when you're not doing music? In other words, revolutionizing through melody.
Yeah, so that was like what I said to you earlier, Jason, when I was like, Jason, if you want to be funny,
Mm-hmm.
you got to learn to make fun of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you would need to do is like when somebody starts making fun of you, just make fun of yourself.
Oh.
And it will unlock your funny.
So you're saying
And
instead of
people,
laughing.
I'm just saying, I'm like, Jason, stop thinking about the 75 things that you need to do in order to be funny.
Right. You're not trying to be right in that moment.
Just make fun of yourself. Just like let go, and you're gonna kill people.
So you're saying when you made a joke about me, that was my opportunity.
No. When I told you, well, that's how it started. It started by me making fun of you to show you that that's how you will unlock that. But then when I explained it to you, it's like, Jason, this is all that it is. And it's like, that's what I say to people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is it.
Right.
This is like the one thing that you can do.
Right.
Biggest bang for your buck.
Yeah. I love that. And
it's like, that's a melody where it's like okay. When I go to this party, I'm just going to wait for somebody to rip on me. It's like, here comes the Buddhist. Somebody goes, oh, here comes the vegetarian Buddhist. And you go, and you look at them and you go, and you look like a carrot.
Okay.
And so you're just like, you're just basically saying, is
that why you look like a carrot to me?
Yeah. And but you're building off of it.
Gotcha.
And it's like, whoa. Just the Buddhist? Also a llama. Like, like you got it.
Mr. Llama to you. Mr. Buddhist to you.
Professor Mr. Llama.
Yeah. Professor Buddhist to you.
Yes.
So you're saying your gift is to distill things and really give that that real good advice to people. But then personally, you're giving me the advice to take these opportunities, which I'm trying to process this. So
he's demonstrating it. Yeah. What Jonathan would do for a person like you and I is we get in these big philosophical discussions, and you, Jason, come up with some revelatory synthesis point that ends our episodes, which is great. Jonathan would take that point and go, da 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 da. That's it. That's it. And so when we've talked about a monad, about a one, about what's the thing behind the whole thing, Jonathan's the guy who will be able to tell it. It's always funny to talk to people and say, what's the one? And they talk for 15 minutes. That's literally the opposite of the one. And when we do our video and talk about the one and the two together, I have a lot of things I'm going to say because I hear people talking about the one and the two, and they are contradicting themselves with their explanation.
Okay. Interesting.
If you're going to talk about the one, you got 15 seconds. Do it. Otherwise, you don't know what you're talking about.
The one is in one sentence.
The one in one sentence. There it is.
The one is one sentence.
Yeah, C.S. Lewis said it should be something that's simple and covers everything.
Right.
So it shouldn't be a 15-minute explanation. It shouldn't be more than 20-second explanation at the most. So the minute someone starts explaining the one and they take more than 20 seconds, I'm done. I know they don't know what they're talking about.
So how long have you known you had that superpower to be able to extract the essence of some complicated ideas.
How long did I know that?
Yeah.
That I
Yeah,
could.
how long since
that
you
I,
know that? When did you first realize
Is
that?
that something you knew as a kid, or something that you obviously you refined it, but
See, I
yeah.
have a
What,
line right now I want to say, but go ahead.
yeah,
Give your answer that I think I have. It sets me up for my answer or for my retort.
my retort.
Yeah.
Um,
When did you realize you had that ability?
when did I have that ability that I could simplify things?
No, but when did you realize it? You've
Oh,
always
I
had that
mean,
ability. You've
John, I
always
didn't.
had that ability.
maybe you
Yeah,
misuse it.
I don't think I realized it until John said, "Hey, Jonathan, here's your ability to do
You know
this."
why? Because I'm the first complicated person you've ever met. Prove me wrong.
Was everyone in your
Yeah, I
life
know.
simple? Everyone in your life was easygoing? You mean?
Not easygoing. Not easygoing. Just not complicated.
Interesting.
The people that I was interacting with, they weren't complicated. Like everybody was pretty simple.
One, two-dimensional. Their thoughts, what they're saying, what they're going for.
And then I was like, "What is this guy's deal?"
Exactly. This guy's a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, it was like there was probably the only person that was close to you, John, was probably the lead singer in the band
Right.
that I was in,
Right.
who was, again, he was exhorter teacher, so he was a more like very different to me.
A lot of information, everything, but I don't think it ever really fit together. And I don't think you had a problem understanding him immediately.
No, I definitely no, I didn't read. Like, I just straight up disliked John the first time I met him. Just straight up, like, ew. No, thank you. Not him. I tell you what. I tell you who I'm not going to be friends with. This guy.
Was this in Perkins?
No, actually it was we had a group drive down. So the guy that he talks about, that put us all together, he set up for a group to drive down to meet Jonathan. And so we took a van. I think we even rented a van because we had so many people. We had a whole crew that went down, met Jonathan, his parents, and his brother. Is that correct?
Maybe my sister. Probably
I
my.
don't know if your sister was around then.
Mm.
Wait, I'm
I think it
confused.
was your brother.
You guys rented, like, this is Joel's brother, right? Who introduced you?
Yep, Joel's stepbrother.
So Joel's stepbrother was like, "Hey, I want you to meet this guy Jonathan," and you guys rented.
Joel's stepbrother was living in New York City,
Okay,
but he had known
Yes.
Jonathan. And when
I heard
Jonathan
this.
left the band, all these people in Appleton stopped talking to him. So all these people he thought were his friends,
Right.
but the stepbrother still talked to him. So there's one person.
But what was the purpose of taking the whole van, just to meet Jonathan's family?
This stepbrother said to me, "Hey, you guys really should meet this guy. This guy he's amazing. He's incredible."
Okay.
You know, and he put his whole reputation on it. And we had a very small, close knit community, and we all wanted to. And some of the people in that community knew him. I didn't. And so what we did was we wanted to take a whole crew down to see him. So I believe we rented a van. I want to say, we did that, but we took like, I'm going to say 6 people, 7 people down there. And to what Jonathan was saying, in fact, I think we were sitting out in your backyard. Yeah. And I don't remember your sister being there, because I can remember the first time I met your sister, we were helping her move, or we were helping the stepbrother move and his girlfriend. And so I had to go with you, I think, to her apartment to get a bunch of stuff, or to pick her up. That's when I was like, oh, wow, she's a tornado. Like she is just, like the Tasmanian devil. I think I would have remembered her with your parents around, but I think your brother was there. His brother did not like me, and Jonathan didn't like me a little less than his brother didn't like me. And I just sat there the entire time and didn't say a word. But everybody else talked to Jonathan. Everybody else liked Jonathan. Jonathan liked everybody else. He didn't like me. We didn't talk. So you could almost say we met, but we didn't meet and we didn't talk. And so that's why eventually, 3 months later, he gets so frustrated. He goes, okay, I'm going to talk to this knucklehead.
But that's when you called up and you were like, I heard you could help men become men. And
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
A true quarter life crisis.
Well, no, I was going to say that's a really, such a great story too, because, for all the people out there who meet their teacher, their Yoda, and they don't like the way they feel, and then but you made that choice, right? Like your visceral reaction was to say no, but then some part of you had to make that choice, and that choice is
I need to call John. I need to call.
I think I threw up in my mouth a little.
I can't say his name. John, let him. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and I remember that John was unimpressed. The first time he met me, he's like, I don't see it. It's like, I don't see it. And it's like, I hate that guy. John's like, I don't see it.
I don't see it. Everybody else liked him. I get it.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Nice guy.
He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, good for him. Plenty of those out there. Dime a dozen. One-dimensional.
So I got one more question. Is kind of what I was actually going to ask you this when you said breaking things down into the melody, because I can't even fathom writing a song. Like, what's the process? Like, how do you write a melody? Like, how do you take something and just make it out of nowhere? Are you hearing it first and then you write it down, or?
Yeah, a couple. It'll usually happen a few different ways. Like there have been times where where I have had a melody and you feel like it's outside of yourself and it happens to you. And you I'll get a melody and a concept. And those are really exciting moments where you feel like, oh, something has been downloaded. A lot of artists talk about
oh yeah,
being close to the source. You got something. And it's really hard to say that that's yours. You talk about those songwriters that write these big songs and they'll be like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I wrote it or if I just discovered it, or I just uncovered it, but it was already there. It was just, I'd found it. So I love hearing singers and songwriters talk about their process. But it's either that way, or what I'll do is I'll pick up a guitar and I'll start singing a melody, because I'm not a very proficient guitar player, and I just learned to write. I learned guitar chords so that I could write songs. So I basically have pretty much 4 chords that I'm using all the time. But it's all about finding that melody. And I will literally be sitting there playing chords to a specific rhythm, and then I'll start to hum a melody and I will go, there's a song in that. I won't have any lyrics, but I'll have a melody, and then I'll record that into my phone. And then I will wait for the concept.
Ooh, so that's awesome. So you get the melody first most of the time, and then you play it, and then the words just start to come as well, or the concept.
Or I'll get the concept of I think I want to write a song about this.
Wow.
Or that just happened to me. Something happened to me, and I'm I grab the guitar, because I don't write when I'm sad. I don't write when I'm angry. I usually write out of joy and out of like expression, like relief, like something awesome just happened. And I'm like, what do I do with myself? That was awesome. What do I do with myself? And it's like, that's when I grab the guitar and want to express it that way. So like I'll have these big confrontations with people. Like, and I'll write this email and it's like, wow, I know I helped that person. I know that was the right thing to do. I know that is like, man, that was awesome. And that will just make me want to grab a guitar and start singing to express, basically express gratitude and joy in what was just accomplished. So I would say like music's one of these effects for me that it's really hard if I go at it like it's a cause. Like I just have to pick up the guitar every day. It's like, no, it's almost like I have to express my joy that way. And if I'm not feeling very joyful, I'm probably not going to be picking up a guitar.
I love that. And, it comes across in the music too, because you mentioned like the sad, like think of how many songs are so depressing and they're popular because, but I like that you're doing it in a joyful state because.
Yeah. And I'll write the saddest, most depressing song while feeling amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Where it's like, yeah. And even although I'm tapping into something sad, it's still, I still feel great.
Nice. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for being on the show.
That's it.
I'm sure we're going to do this again sometime.
Yeah, maybe we might have to do longer shows, but we're trying to stick to an hour for now.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
this was really fun.
It was fun, right? That's the whole idea. Is we're coming on, you talking about yourself, like a lot of podcasts, people talking about all these out there ideas. It was all about you, and we want you to leave feeling great. So,
hey, that's the only time I want to be on a podcast is when it's all about me.